the project sort of just like morphed as we started diving into it, and it went through all these different like processes. I don't know if that answers the question, but yeah, sci-fi is great. Sci-fi is cool. You can transcend and do so many things, and it's wonderful to just see where your mind can go. Yeah.
Well, this was made during COVID, where technology was very relevant, and I don't usually do sci-fi. It just kind of happened because we used so much technology, and I just thought, what would happen if you got like swallowed by that in some way? So yes.
Yes, I also think that I'm curious just about like the connection between technology devices and human emotions. Like, would they ever be possible for technology to take over human emotions?
That's awesome. I'm going to turn it over to our audience members. Oh, there is a light in my eyes. Anybody have a question? Okay, I see one hand all the way up in the back that shot up first, but I see you in the yellow hat. You're next, my friend.
I was wondering, I feel like sci-fi is often associated with these kind of huge, big budget movies. When you're making sci-fi stuff on a budget, like a tight budget, when you're making smaller film, how did you guys sort of strategize as far as, well, what do you need to do in order to accomplish what you want to accomplish, but still sort of within the confines of whatever limitations you have budget-wise? Are there specific strategies or techniques that you used or would recommend to other people who want to make similar types of films on a budget?
Favors. That's a really good question. I think with our movie specifically, we wanted to, this was like our grad project, and so we had access to a lot of stuff that I knew we wouldn't be able to have access to after we graduated. There were sound stages, all the equipment, and more than anything, all the incredibly talented people who were, had to work on our movie to get it great. So we just had a really good pot of resources, I think, to work with, and got really lucky in that way. But I mean, aside from that, it was just kind of being really imaginative with how you're using your resources. I mean, our sets were made out of literally, like, we were dumpster diving to pull like keyboards and ice cube trays and dryer parts to build all the stuff that we had. There was like a TV got dismantled in like 6 different ways. So it's kind of just about being creative with what you've got on hand.
Yeah, I think, and yeah, it's just, it's a lot of improvising and just figuring out how far you can go with something in terms of, like, we're not obviously, $100 million movie or something, so it's just like not just saying, okay, we're gonna make this super small, but like, how do we make it big but not spend as much money? And yeah, it's a lot of favors, and it's a lot of talented people. Like just the production designer for this movie did an amazing job, and we wouldn't have been able to make it without him on a budget for sure.
Yeah, that is a really good question. I think, at least for this project specifically, location was a huge part of it. But I would definitely say just being realistic about the scope when in the conceptualizing and writing phase. You don't want to write a concept that you can't shoot. So, there's always creative ways to tell a bigger story without necessarily showing it in a huge way. And I think just being really realistic during the early stages on what your capabilities are. Not, you should always push yourself to do something bigger and better than your previous project, but it should still be within, the scope of resources you have access to, the people and what you can actually do. So I think just making sure you keep the scope within your realm of comfort, I think is big. And then, yeah, finding stuff that already exists that you can kind of rework and make work for your creative, I think helps as well too.
Yeah, I think just finding the right people with the right amount of passion. Because, like, for ours, like, we put in 2 solid days, but it felt like 3 days. And it was like a lot, full days. And then, but it also felt like such a pleasure to do. Like, it wasn't hard at all. but just finding people who are just like equally passionate about the project is like a big thing.
So ours was very low budget, as you might be able to tell. And we basically had a very small budget, and we spent almost all of it 3D printing the device, and it was made in 2 days, so the rest was spent on snacks and costumes, so that's not a good advice.
Well, yeah. Also, it was made in one location. That can sometimes make it cheaper.
All right, and I saw that you up here, you had a question. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just introduce our VFX team here.
Hi, I'm the VFX team. Yeah, that's a really good question, but it was a lot of just me doing all like the hard VFX stuff. But there was a big mixture of special effects and VFX, so we were really trying to push for as many practical effects as possible, and that is all credited to our amazing production designer, Rain LeMay. He's not here today, but I don't know, it's kind of just, go through the script and break down what can we do practically, what can we has to be a visual effect. I mean, I don't have a planet at my disposal, so that has to be generated in a computer, but the spaceship, we can make one. So we made one out of beer cans and yogurt containers and spray paint, and I think that was the key to getting effects that looked good, was trying to blend as much, even when it had to have a visual effects component, blend as much real elements into it as possible.
Went up?
Yeah, okay. This was a very run and gun project. Jonah and Jonah found me via Instagram, and so that kind of is how that started. And it was one of those things where it was such a pleasure as an artist to be brought onto, because it was very challenging in like the best way possible. We essentially got to a location, had 2 days, 2 19-hour days to shoot it, and I kind of just worked with the cinematographer, Julian Lomaga, and Jonah to really, I kind of did it as I went along. Like, normally I choreograph something, and then I get to the set, and then I do it, and then it's filmed. But this was very improvised, and so, but in a way it was wonderful to work that way, because Julian and I kind of were like duet partners, where like I was dancing and he was dancing with me, which was really wonderful, because it was all on Steadicam. So it was this like beautiful like duet between me and the camera, and it just like transformed. Yeah.
Yeah, Susanna said it best. The plan going into it really was to let the location kind of inspire the movements. We had like a pretty rough shot list for everything, and a few really key transition points and sequences that had to be shot a certain way, and those we made sure we get. But there were lots of sections in the middle where we did like a couple tech scouts and a few scouts with the team, and we kind of just let location kind of do the talking, because again, the piece is so based around where it was shot, and there's so much really incredible imagery that can be found in that spot. So rather than try and like force our own choreo into it, Susanna was really open to just kind of feeling it out while we were there, and I think it worked pretty well. So yeah.
That's awesome. Do we have any other questions? Oh, yes, I see your hand. Whoa.
Whoa, yeah. Whoa. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it was so much a critique of tech. Well, I guess that's how it's perceived. Intentionally, I wasn't trying to critique technology so much as I was trying to critique, like, the way we treat each other. How far do we push people? Like, why are this guy's clearly lying his way through this psychological exam, and they're just, okay, go to space, do your job. And the way that we connect with people, and the way that we sometimes just kind of brush that shit that we should be talking about under the rug, and the stuff that we can't quite articulate, I think that was kind of the approach. And I guess technology has a way of emphasizing that lack of connection in a lot of ways.
So yeah, that's a good question. This is a COVID project, as many of them are. And truthfully, what inspired it was me sitting in my room for 5 months and me wanting to shoot something. So it started there, and then, slowly things started to come together. I've been working with my projection mapping team for like a year leading up, doing test shoots, because we wanted to do something with projection mapping, and we wanted to see a way that could be combined with dance in this location that I'd been aware of for a while. And it kind of, the seed was all of these pieces finally coming together during COVID when we, had time to start talking about a passion project. And then, the one piece missing was, what is the theme? What's everything about? We have all these technical elements that are coming together. And I don't really know where it came from. I'm not going to make something up and tell you, oh, I had this epiphany, one night while walking down the street. But it really boils down to duality, just a visual exploration of duality, both in night and day, both in the choreography being a lot more raw at night and a lot more calculated and put together for the daytime. And just like, a visual exploration of just duality as a visual concept is what our piece is.
This was in our second year, the end of it, at the film school we go to, and we all had to pitch for our main production. So it was in the middle of COVID. So I sat down in my couch and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make up a really great idea. Then I looked to my left and there was an Alexa, and I just thought, interesting.
It'd be a shame if she wanted to murder somebody. Any other questions from our audience? Sorry, I'm like making sure I'm catching everybody. I feel like this is a great time to ask. Do y'all have any projects that are in the works, or any goals that you're looking forward to completing, or just anything that you're looking forward to, like, moving forward?
We've got a music video screening next door, so we're looking forward to that.
Hell yeah.
5 minutes or so.
Don't have a music video screening next door, but I'm shooting a music video next week, so that'll be fun. Yeah.
Jonah and I are working on another project. So, we've done the treatment, it's there. We're hopefully we'll do it. Like, I don't know,
So we're editing a new movie right now where Michelle is doing the sound design too. So that's great.
That's awesome. Well, give it up and give another round of applause to these wonderful people. Congratulations, y'all.